Yeah, what's going on? Your boy Quan John back at it. Miss Portia Mystique, say what up, what up?
Hi.
Yeah, another installment, Motivational Motives, where we talk about inspirational and enlightening theories and ideas in the Black community. Today, we're going to speak about Kwanzaa. You know what I mean? For real,
Okay.
Quan John knows little to nothing about it. You know what I mean? That I guess that's the American in me. You know, so Portia Mystique is going to educate us on what Kwanzaa is, and we'll dip and dab around the hypocrisy of Christmas.
Ooh.
Without ado, Miss Portia Mystique, take care.
Hey, y'all. So,
Yeah,
okay, let me just start by saying, I grew up celebrating Kwanzaa with my family. Okay, so what I know about Kwanzaa comes from what my family taught me and what we did together.
sure.
Okay, I know like over the years, there's been a lot of change in the story of Kwanzaa and the history behind it, and even the hypocrisy in Kwanzaa itself.
Mm.
But
So, you're saying there's also hypocrisies within Kwanzaa?
there is, I wouldn't say the idea, but the way that it's practiced, and yeah, just like anything, and any holiday,
Okay.
right? Like I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
you
how I
got
feel.
hypocrisies in every holiday. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
guess some people don't even practice. They don't even worship any holidays because of the hypocrisy behind it. But before you begin, I just wanted to, I was doing my little pseudo research in the notion, the idea of Santa Claus and that fictitious character. Some people believe he's real, some people believe he's not. But it was so much diverse and contradicting research in it. I didn't know what to believe.
That's the same thing with Kwanzaa. You know what I mean? Like there's the whole idea behind it, the history, why it was started. But over the years, I feel like even my family, we didn't stick with what we were supposed to stick with. We didn't stick with the traditions. We kind of mixed it up and made it our own thing, and then we eventually just faded away from it.
So was the Kwanzaa holiday, was that something that it was introduced by your father, your mother, or both of them? Or
I, if
or y'all
I
created it as y'all got older?
No, if I believe correctly, it was my grandfather, my dad's father, who started it. Like, I don't know if he started it himself or but from when I remember being little, going over my granddad's house to celebrate Kwanzaa. So it
Got you.
was my dad's father, and then when we were older, my dad was like, "All right, we're gonna do this
Okay.
ourselves too." So we started doing it in our own home.
Okay. So you know what? Let us know how was it founded? Who founded it? When did it begin? Let us know the basics.
Okay, so Kwanzaa was founded in 1966. Yes, it is a baby holiday. People think it goes way back, but it doesn't.
I thought that.
It was founded in 1966, and it was actually founded in Los Angeles. It was Dr. Maulana Karenga. He was born in Maryland, okay? Born in Maryland, but he went to UCLA. So it was right around that time, I think it was 1965, was when the Watts riot happened in LA. That was like the worst riot before the Rodney King riots in 92. The Watts riot in 65 pretty much sparked Dr. Karenga's idea of needing a holiday for Black Americans. So let's just get that out the way right now. Kwanzaa was not about being just specifically African. Like Kwanzaa is not an African holiday. Like you won't go to an African country and they're celebrating Kwanzaa, not the way we do it here. Dr. Karenga took holidays and traditions from Southeastern and Western African traditions and holidays, and he kind of mixed it up, mashed it up, and made it his own for us. So Kwanzaa is specifically for Black Americans.
Okay.
Okay. And so it started in 1966. And the whole idea was about bringing us together, not only just for our pride, because we needed at the time, we really needed to have Black pride, but it was also about understanding that we are not inferior. So if you look at what happened in the Watts riot, I think it was pretty much a case of police brutality, what we're dealing with today, and it snowballed into a 6-day riot, similar to what what happened when George Floyd died. It was pretty much the same thing. And so, and even the Rodney King riots, it was that same thing. Police brutality. People found out that the police was mishandling this dude. In this case, it was a guy who got pulled over for reckless driving. He got into a fight with the police because he was black. And then the police somehow did something to a pregnant black woman. So they harmed her somehow. And then that kind of just spiraled into a 6-day riot. And that led to 34 deaths, a bunch of injuries, and people getting arrested.
Now, let me ask you a question. I don't mean to cut you off. Was this happening in the month of December, around Christmas or something?
No,
okay.
I don't know what month it was, but there was no correlation to Christmas.
Okay.
So what Dr. Karenga was doing when he created Kwanzaa, he wanted blacks to have he wanted us to have our own holiday, because he felt like the Christmas and Hanukkah, like these holidays were for white Christians.
Right, specific races and culture.
Right. And supposedly that was what he thought at first. He thought, Christianity was a racist religion and it was for rich white people. And so that's why he created it. He later changed it up and was like, no, it's not against Christmas. But I think that was just a way to not, ostracize black Christians who believed in Christmas.
Because you know what? That's a very smart man, because messing with these racist Europeans, they would have made it illegal to celebrate Kwanzaa.
Right.
If he had really went 100% with it like that, they'd have made it a real problem.
Just like how Black Lives Matter.
He did the right.
Just like how Black Lives Matter is now a terrorist organization.
That's crazy.
They went so far with Black Lives Matter, and we were so loud about it that, now we're a terrorist. Right. So, that same thing that you're saying. But I don't know if that was, that could be the reason why, or because there are a lot of black Christians. And to say that Christmas is celebrated by the whites and it has, blacks have no business being a part of that, kind of alienates black people from Kwanzaa. So he's kind of messing himself up to say that.
Got you.
So he had to switch it up.
Right.
So, but yes, it was about us having our own holiday and being able to celebrate our pride and our traditions and kind of get back to the roots of Africa.
Okay.
So it's very Afrocentric.
So it was from what I'm hearing and from my research, it was for the Western African Americans or Native Blacks, as Dr. Claude Anderson eloquently puts it. It was for us to have a connection towards Africa, because we are so disconnected from our roots. That's what it was basically for, right?
I wouldn't say that. I feel like a lot of the traditions that followed in practicing Kwanzaa, it does have ties to African culture, because those are our roots. But I wouldn't say that's why he did it.
Got you.
I don't think he did it to connect us to Africa. I think he did it to connect us to each other. We were we're so all over the place. We had all of these different ideals. Half of the community is doing one thing, another half is doing another thing. You got most of us are in jail, or supposedly, most of us are dealing with this. So I think it was about bringing all of us together. Sure, it was connecting to our African roots, but I think the underlining meaning was to bring the Black community together.
So the Black community together, or was it also for us to, coexist, coexist positively with other cultures also? So basically, he was a proponent of integration, if you will.
No.
Okay. All right. I'm glad I'm getting these questions wrong.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not saying he was anti-white or anti-other race or whatever, but it wasn't about mingling with them. It was about having our own.
That's my guy. That's my guy right there.
Like, it's not like he was like, okay, we hate white people or whatever. No, it's not about that. It was about we're not anti-white.
We just pro-Black.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. So it was very pro-Black, and that's why I use the term. It's Afrocentric. You know what I mean? Because it has the roots in African culture, just like we do, but it was not about going back to Africa or anything like that. It was about us. It was
Gotcha.
like, okay, we can't forget where we come from. And so those African traditions and cultures are a huge role. They play a huge part in Kwanzaa.
Right.
Even the language itself. Like when you practice Kwanzaa, which we'll get into, we're speaking Swahili. These are Swahili terms.
Wow.
So it has that let's just say that underlining idea
Right.
about realizing what your roots are,
Right.
understanding where you come from.
Right.
But in the grand scheme of things, the whole idea was about unity among us.
Excellent. And you know what? I'm well, I probably would have to ask someone, because I'm just going on the people that I know. I mean, coming up, I've heard, a few people say Happy Kwanzaa, but people that are in my specific circle, I don't think that they know that was the objective, was unity. I think they just say, okay, this is our holiday and that's it. But they don't know why is it our holiday. You know what I mean? It was to bring us as a people together.
Yes.
You understand? And you know what? That's a simple and very, very, very feasible objective.
Really, it is. It really is. And like what kills me though is like, just real quick, I remember I was volunteering at my younger sibling's school. So I tutored there. And one of my students, this was like right before the Christmas break.
Okay.
And so I was speaking to a teacher there, and we were talking about Kwanzaa and Christmas. And one of the students who was a Black kid was like, well, what's Kwanzaa? And I was like, oh, baby. Even now, this wasn't even that long ago. I was like, even now, it was like that child had never even heard it. Now, I understand most people don't understand what it is or understand what to celebrate it. But that child couldn't have been older than, the child was like maybe 7 or 8.
Okay.
And hadn't even heard the word before. I was just like, wow, that was really shocking.
And I don't think my daughter has heard the word. So definitely after this video, we probably going to sit and watch it together.
Right.
As she edits.
As she edits. Shout out to Miss Ava. Okay.
Salute you, Ava.
Okay. So all right, so let's get into it. So now that we kind of have the background, right? Sure. The idea of Kwanzaa. So most people know this. Kwanzaa is celebrated over a 7-day period.
Right.
Right. So it starts December 26th, the day after Christmas, and it ends January 1st, the first day of the new year. Okay. Keep in mind, Kwanzaa was not created, well, he switched it up, but now it's not created to be anti-Christmas. You don't celebrate Kwanzaa and not celebrate Christmas. Most families celebrate both.
Okay.
Okay. So like for me.
And it wasn't like that previously?
I mean, I guess people were doing that, but he straight up was like, Christmas is BS and so is Christianity and all this other stuff. So he was anti-Christmas. Like he could say what he want. He could switch it up later, but definitely when it started, he was anti-Christmas.
I might have to agree with Malinga, but we'll get to that.
So yeah. So so it starts December 26th, ends January 1st. Now there are 7 days of Kwanzaa. So there are 7 principles. Each day has its own principle. Okay.
Right.
So we'll go through those 7 days, and then we'll talk about what you do on that day.
That's right. Let's do it.
Okay. So the first day of Kwanzaa is Umoja, Umoja. You guys see it at the bottom. Umoja. Umoja means unity. What I love about that, and this is what many people forget, Umoja is the first day of Kwanzaa for a reason. Dr. Karenga did everything on purpose. Nothing is an accident when celebrating Kwanzaa. Everything symbolizes something. So the fact that Umoja is unity, that's the first day of Kwanzaa because that's the day everybody needs to come together.
Right.
Everybody click up, get together, stop playing around, stop being out there doing what you're doing, come together. It's about unity. Yes. So Umoja is Swahili for unity. Forgive me, my Swahilian brothers and sisters, if my pronunciation is terrible. I am an American.
Yo, you know what? They definitely, because the objective of motivation models is for us, from us, by us. You know what I mean? So they definitely forgive you and I. You know what I mean? Real for our Western ignorance.
Oh God.
Uh,
So umoja, unity. Okay, day 1. Day 2 is my favorite, just because I love saying it. Is kujichagulia. Okay,
Woo!
let's all say that together. Kujichagulia.
Man, that sounds very attractive. I'm serious. It's something about it that I don't know. It sounds like a fragrance that should be given to a woman. You know what I mean? Something that I want to smell all day, every day. You dig? I'm telling you.
So crazy.
I was just telling you what it sounds like to me. Go ahead.
So put on your kujichagulia.
Right, put that on. I'm gonna lick it off, but let's not get. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh, yo, you tripping? Okay, kujichagulia. Yeah, you gotta be you. You gotta be you.
Got to. Yeah.
So kujichagulia means self-determination. Okay. Now, some people may have a different. They may perceive these days, or not. I'm sorry, not perceive, but they may have a different interpretation of these days than I do. Okay. So for me, self-determination means having the confidence and the perseverance to achieve your own dream, your own destiny.
That's right. I agree.
So,
I agree.
You know, to be self-determined is like, listen, here's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it.
Going to do it.
Right. So that's self-determination. Okay. Cool. That's day 2. Day 3, and I always get these mixed up. I always get day 3 and day 4 mixed up. But day 3 is ujima. 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 Okay. Mm-hmm. Ujima means collective work and responsibility.
That's right. That's right. Without collectivism in the Black community, we not gonna get nothing done. Straight up.
But like now, it kind of has a different meaning for me now. At the time when I was a kid and we were doing it, I was like, oh, that's cool. Everybody sharing the work, sharing the responsibility. That sounds great and all. But now that I'm an adult and I see the state of our culture, the state of our people, it takes on a different meaning for me. So collective work and responsibility. Number 1, for me, responsibility should come first, because that's what we don't have. We don't have that responsibility, and I don't mean just like jobs or being responsible for our children, but I mean owning up to the BS that we put out every day.
Accountability. Yep.
Right. Accountability. The lies that we tell ourselves, the games that we play with each other. We need to own up and be responsible for those actions, and then work.
That's right. Moral consistency.
Right. And then put in the work to fix those things, to own up to what we do as a people, as a culture, and individually, and then work together in order to fix it. So that to me is collective work and responsibility in the Black community.
Right.
Okay. So that's day 3, Ujima. Okay. Day 4, Ujama. See why I get day 3 and day 4 mixed up?
I do. You know what? Ujama is another one of them words. I like Ujama.
Really?
You know what I mean? It sounds like it should be a body lotion for a woman, you know what I mean? So it could be glistening all over her body. For real. Throw some of that Ujima on them ashy ass ankles, girl. For real. But go ahead.
Yo, you definitely need to be at Bath and Body Works right now, because you are on some fragrance and lotions.
What is Ujama?
Ujama means you're gonna love this one. It means cooperative economics.
That's what I'm saying. Putting that money all in the pot so we can all eat.
Right. This is what we talk about on the channel all the time. We always talk about cooperative economics, because it's about, you can have your own business. You could do what you want to do. But we, as Black people, we are consumers. You know, we stay spending money.
We're the biggest consumers. Christmas Day, oh my God. It's camaraderie for the Black community. But we'll get into that and how we are affected economically by Christmas.
It's true. So but like I was saying, like, we are the biggest consumers, and we're spending, but we don't spend in our own communities.
Not at all.
Who are we hitting up? The mom and pop shops that are Black owned?
Nope.
Like, are we going to the Black owned businesses? Are we opening accounts at these Black owned banks? We're not doing that.
Nope.
We're not. So cooperative economics is so important. Even though he created this in 1966, you still see that these issues are still present. And so these principles are very much relatable nowadays, like today.
Right.
Like still, it's crazy. Day 5 is NIA, N-I-A, which means purpose.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like
purpose.
actress Nia Long, NIA.
Yes, N-I-A, like Nia Long. Put her picture up there. Boom, Nia Long. But it's NIA means purpose. Okay,
Purpose.
purpose. So
We
I
all
mean,
need purpose.
yes, you can take this any way you want. You know, purpose could be the purpose of us coming together. The reason why we're here, what we're supposed to be doing, like our purpose. And that's what it means for me. It's like the purpose of our people. What are we supposed to be doing? Why are we here?
That's right. Like the great Delatoro McNeil says. He says, without purpose, what he said, without purpose, addiction is definitely present of some shape, form, or fashion. If you don't have a purpose in your life, you are addicted to some type of negative facet in this world. And I thought what he said, I said, damn, that's true. You know what I mean? Because in my personal life, when I was walking and talking without purpose, I was addicted to certain things that were no good for me. You know what I mean? So when I did away with those negative ways of life, purpose appeared. You know what I mean? So it's really nice. So he wrote that book, a Caught Between a Dream and a Job, Delatoro McNeil. Moving
Wow.
right.
That is interesting. But that's
Yep.
true, isn't it?
It
Because
is.
if you don't have a purpose, you're addicted to something, whether
That's
it's
right.
you're just caught in a cycle. You're not
That's
going
right.
anywhere.
Absolutely.
I
Very
like
good. Nia, like that. Nia
Nia.
means,
That's day 5.
all right. All
So
right.
day 6. Now,
6.
here is the consumerism in us because
What we got?
I'll tell you in a minute. So day 6 is Kumba. I love it. Kumba. Kumba. Okay, anyways, that's what it is. It's Kumba. It means creativity. Okay. Kumba. Creativity. Because well, I don't know a Black person that's not creative. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's what we do. It's in our soul. It's in our soul. It's in our DNA, man. You know, a Black person that's not using their creativity in some shape, form, or fashion, they not black. They not black like the way Joe Biden said that. They not utilizing the blackness within their soul. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be a great dancer. You don't have to be a great singer or a great rapper or things like that. There are other things that you can do creatively. You can be an interior decorator. That's creative. You know what I'm saying? You can be a great publisher, editor, and formatter like Miss Portia Mystique is. You know what I mean? It's creative.
Yeah. Thanks.
No problem.
So yeah. So that's creativity. That day is my favorite, but we'll get into why in a minute.
Okay.
Day 7 is the last day of Kwanzaa, and it's Imani. Imani.
Imani.
Most people know that name. Most people know a girl named Imani.
That's right.
Right? Even my baby sister, her middle name is Imani. I love it. I love the way it sounds.
Imani. That's right. I have a cousin named Imani. What does that mean?
Imani is Swahili for faith.
Faith?
Faith. Yes.
Okay. Faith.
So in the sense of Kwanzaa, this faith was about having faith in us, having faith in our people, in ourselves.
Right.
And if that is your belief, then having faith in your God to know that you need, I mean, I feel like it was the perfect way to top off the holiday is to have faith. Because if you're going through every day and you're working towards what you're supposed to be working towards, and remember, just keep in mind, Kwanzaa wasn't about just celebrating this for the 7 days and that's it. The 7 days of Kwanzaa are meant to represent our entire existence, like our history.
Right.
So imagine if those 7 days were actually 7 generations. And we started with unity. Everybody came together. Then we jumped into self-determination, and everybody, all of us, we all worked on ourselves. Right? And then day 3, Ujima, we all collective work and responsibility. After working on ourselves, we got to looking at everything else, everybody else. I'm like, here's the issue. Here's how we fix it. Right? Then day 4, Ujama, which is cooperative economics. So after we've worked on ourselves and each other and the situation, we start pulling our money together to achieve that success.
Right.
Right? Now I'm talking about this is over 7 generations.
Right.
Okay? So then that, you know, that's then after that is Nia, purpose. So after we have that money, we make it bank, we rolling. What are we gonna do with it? What is our purpose? What are we gonna do? Then after that is Kumba, creativity. Now we're making that money. We know what we're supposed to achieve.
Right.
Now we can have a little fun. Now we can get creative.
Right.
Start playing around with what we're doing.
Right.
And then top it all off. Day 7 is faith. Now that we have achieved everything, we need to have faith in each other to continue it. To continue to pass it down to the later generations and stuff.
So day 7, basically, it ends on January 1st, right?
That's New Year, yep.
And you know, I think that's actually very fitting, man, because you know, when we start a new year, you know, when people they have their resolutions that they never own up to, right? On January 1st. I think Kumba, as in faith, right, is fitting for January 1st because
no, Kumba is creativity.
Sorry about that. Hold on. What was Imani? Sorry about Imani, which is January 1st. I think that's so fitting because you know you want to have faith in prosperity in your year, right? You want to have faith, for your health and the health of your loved ones in your year. You want to have faith in you know your pockets continue to grow.
Right.
You know,
right. Yeah.
In the total being. You know what I mean? So it's definitely that faith being on January 1st. It was brilliant by my man Molenga. It was brilliant having that being on January 1st. Excellent.